Hello, Chiamaka Mbaegbu here. Before I start my session, I want to, give a special shout out to the convener of this amazing, conference, Oluwatosi, popularly known as the Global Teacher, the Olori AB. Ha! Tosi, you are doing amazingly well, ma. You are doing so great. She has mentored over 10,000 teachers across Nigeria and Africa. You are not just a colleague, you know that. I call her my sister. She is a great educator with the best interests of teachers at heart. To say that this is the second year she's hosting this conference, the African Teachers Conference. This is 2.0, and this year's theme, Audacity to Dream. Let me tell you, she is truly a living proof of what it means to dream audaciously and to help other teachers do same. She's doing it. She's living audaciously. So a big shout out to her, to all the organizers working tirelessly behind the scenes, to all the teachers who are in attendance today. And also I want to say, give shout out to all my fellow speakers, but especially I want to thank you, Tosin, for creating this platform, for creating this conference, for pulling this thing together. Right. Thank you, Tosi. Thank you. I pray that you will never relent, that the strength that you have will continuously increase, because it is not easy. So please, guys, can we please appreciate Oluwatosi, the global teacher, once again before I start my session. So hello once again. It's such an honor to be part of this conference, for teachers. Even though I'm not physically with you in Nigeria right now, I am glad that you're watching this video and that you are sharing in my story, right? My name is Chiamaka Mbaegbu, popularly known as the 360 Degrees Teacher, and today I want to talk about what it means to be audacious as a teacher, and what that means for me. So I'm going to start with my beginnings, right? I started teaching officially in 2013. Before then, during my NYSC, I was already standing in front of classrooms, right? But 2013 was the year I fully embraced teaching. Here's a tough memory. My first salary was 15,000 naira, sometimes 17,000 naira as a teacher. And this was after I had already earned my postgraduate diploma in education. Even with that, I knew deep inside me that this is what I am meant to do. But I also told myself something important. I cannot be the kind of teacher I saw around me. I cannot even be the kind of teacher my parents were. You see, both my parents are teachers. They gave their lives to the classrooms. But apart from impact, they had nothing much to show for it financially. And in society, we all know the insults. Look at this poor teacher. I didn't want to be that. I didn't want that to be my story. So I remember the story in the Bible of Jacob and the spotted sheep. The sheep kept seeing spots until they began to produce, spotted offspring. That taught me something. When you see a picture often enough, you start to believe it is possible for you. So I asked myself, who are the spotted sheep I needed to see? That's when I left Owerri for Port Harcourt, because I wanted to see teachers who were winning. I wanted to see teachers who looked like the kind of teacher I wanted to become. And I knew that I couldn't see them in Owerri, right? So when I got to Port Harcourt, I saw these teachers driving cars, traveling abroad, and I said to myself, so teachers can actually be like this. Wow. So after that, I started to search for jobs, looking for jobs, and God opened the door for me. I got a teaching job in Lagos. Now, Lagos changed everything, right? I came to Lagos in 2015, and immediately I saw the divide. Teachers in Lagos were more tech-driven, more exposed. I pushed myself. I got certifications. I immersed myself in educational technology. I even started training my colleagues. In those 5 years, I made impact. I created innovations. I grew from one school to highbrow schools in Lagos. By 2020, I had moved from the mainland to the island, and by 2024, I was ready for my biggest audacious step, carrying my bag in Lagos and relocating to Japan. And I'll tell you more about that. So let's talk about my desire for more. Before I made the move to Japan, something started stirring inside me. Because there comes a point in your career where you begin to want more. I didn't want to just remain in Nigeria teaching and saying this is enough. No. I wanted to see how education was done in other countries. I wanted to make like global moves, not because I hated Nigeria. If you know me, you know I never told myself I was going to travel, but because I knew if I ever wanted to return and fulfill my bigger vision, I first needed to step out and experience more, right? So I started looking at my options. One of the easiest routes to leave the country is the study route. So I reached out to mentors, and let me pause and say this. Teachers, you need mentors, not just colleagues, but mentors in different areas, career, personal, spiritual, whatever, financial, and all that. Some of my mentors told me, Amaka, look into educational technology. Others said, try instructional design. And of course, many said, look towards Canada. I even got offers of admission in the UK, but when I checked the fees and compared them to my salary, it was impossible. That's the reality many teachers face. The dream is there, but the cost looks impossible. Still, I didn't give up. No. So I'll tell you what I did next. So like I said, I didn't give up. I started to do my research. So one day I came across a video by Waka Waka Doctor. He was interviewing a teacher who had relocated abroad. And this teacher said she simply applied and she got in. I also saw another video, this time not Canada or the UK, but of a teacher being interviewed. She also was actually in Japan. That caught my attention. So I went on YouTube and I started searching. Let me tell you something. YouTube is a free university. People are giving out life-changing information daily because they want subscribers. Please do not sleep on it. So I saw that people can actually move to China, move to Korea as English language teachers. And I saw a video of 2 women who relocated to Japan. That was the 5th video I saw actually. I paused, checked the description below the video, and there was this link to apply. So I quickly and immediately applied. Guess what? 3 days later, they reached out to me via my email. They asked me to record a video, to do a recording of myself teaching, introducing myself and everything. After that, I was invited for an interview. Now, of course, I wasn't taking chances. I quickly reached out to one of the ladies I saw that was being interviewed on YouTube. I reached out to her on Instagram and asked her if this was legit and how to absolutely prepare for the interview. She quickly sent a response. She encouraged me and explained how the interview would go. So I did the interview. 2 days later, the result came. Congratulations, you passed. They asked for my documents to process my certificate of eligibility. Brethren, I thought it was still a joke until my certificate of eligibility arrived the next year. And I got my visa. I went to got my visa, bought my ticket, and in March 2024, I left Japan. Now, so the process started in 2023, but 2023 September, October. So the COE took like 3 months to arrive, right? And then by 2024 March, I left Nigeria for Japan. I'm going to tell you more. So that is my journey. That was how I relocated from Lagos to Japan. Now let's talk about you, teachers. The first reason many of us don't move forward is because we lack vision. Yes. Now, if you don't know where you are going, if you don't have a vision, you will definitely settle for anything. The second reason we don't move forward is because is lack of information, basically. Yeah. So because if you can't access information, you will definitely miss out on many opportunities. Sometimes you need to go seek out these opportunities yourself, right? And if you're looking to relocate abroad, please learn to do the work, do your research, learn to apply. Many of us get scammed because we are waiting for agents or some people to do stuff for us. You can absolutely do the work yourself. Now, these are some of the routes you can eventually explore if you want to relocate abroad. One of the easiest route is scholarships. You can basically apply for scholarships. We have scholarships basically meant for teachers, like the MESC scholarship route. by the Japanese government. I know a friend of mine, she came to Japan a year before I came via this program. She was in Nigeria. She was in Owerri. I remember when she went to Abuja, she wrote the exam. She got it, she passed, because many teachers don't even know about this. She wrote the exam. She was fully, fully funded scholarship. Right, she came to Japan as to study, and Japanese government absolutely paid her. We also have the Erasmus Mundus. Another route is via study. Study route is absolutely the easiest way. And we have countries with universities that have affordable and very cheap tuition fees. Your placenta is not buried in Canada, in the UK, or the US. Yes, we have countries in Europe like Lithuania, Estonia, Luxembourg, and all that. Right. And even in Japan, you can absolutely apply to study in Japan, to do your master's program in Japan. Tuition is as low as 300 something thousand yen, that is 3 point something million naira. Another route for you is via the teaching program. We have a lot of teaching programs right now that you can absolutely, explore. For example, in Japan, I'm going to talk about that later. But if you can teach English, countries in Asia, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, China, are basically waiting for you. Yes, because they are investing in their English education programs. Then if you can teach, if you're a math or science teacher, countries in the Middle East like the UAE, Qatar, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, they're basically looking for you. Yes. If you are an early years teacher or you are a special needs teacher, Canada, US, absolutely, they're waiting for you. I know a colleague of mine who relocated also last year, 2024, before I did. He relocated with his family. Absolutely, his wife was recruited from the US as a guidance counselor. And I remember being on that recruitment, it was like a recruitment fair, virtual recruitment fair. His wife got in and they sponsored their visa and everything. They all relocated to the US and they are there currently. So I would say this thing, the difference between where you are and where you are going to is basically information. Like that, my colleague who relocated to the US with his family, whose wife was recruited, it was another teacher who was also recruited 2 years before then that gave them the information. You see, so the difference between you and where you want to be or where you want to go to is access to information. Yes, so please, sometimes, like I said, these opportunities will not come to you. You need to go seek them out, ask questions, do your research. And once you start doing, you will definitely see. Now, in the next one, I'm going to talk about how to relocate the way I did. Now, let me zoom in on the route I traveled with. That is the ALT route. It is one of the simplest ways to come to Japan as a teacher. ALT means Assistant Language Teacher. Now, Japan is investing heavily in English education, and Japan hires foreigners to enrich their classrooms, right? So you don't need to be a professional English teacher. As long as you are a graduate, you had your 12 years of education in English, and you can prove it with documents from your schools, you qualify, yes, to travel via this route. Now, here's what you will need. First, you need proof of English education. That is, you need proof that you had your primary, your secondary, and university education in English. Second, you need an international passport. I don't know why I need to say this, but some of us apply without having the international passport. Third, you need a TESOL or TEFL certificate. You can absolutely get one online. You can get the TEFL via teacherrecord.com. Yes. Now, once you apply, and of course, you need to have your CV and all your, certificates. So once you apply and you get invited for an interview, please dress professionally, ensure you have good lighting, be in a quiet space, speak clearly, slowly, as though you're teaching someone who doesn't understand English. Pronounce tricky words correctly, like February, Wednesday. Pronounce these words properly. That's what they are absolutely looking for. And bring your energy. Yes, they love people who have energy, right? So you might be wondering why I am recommending this ALT route, especially to teachers who don't even teach English. I would say this because Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. It is clean, it is structured, it is peaceful, and it is very welcoming. Teachers are also needed and highly appreciated. Your presence matters, right? Again, the process is straightforward. After the interview, you get your COE, you apply for your B visa. I paid 9,500 naira for my visa, and you book your flight. So it's actually very easy. And yes, it is self-sponsored. You have to buy your ticket yourself, and you need to budget for about 2 months before your first salary comes. No, you can't come immediately with your family, but after 6 months, you can then send for your family. Right. Another thing I like this working in Japan is that salaries are also encouraging. For instance, ALT salary ranges between 230,000 to 270,000 yen. That is approximately 2.3 million to 2.7 million naira per month. International schools here even pay higher. They pay 350,000 yen to 600,000 yen. That is 3.5 million to 6 million naira per month. Cost of living is also affordable. You can save, invest, and still support some projects in Nigeria. And the opportunities don't even end here. Once you arrive and complete your ALT contract, do you know that you can transition into international schools in Japan, where the demand for teachers, especially early years science and math teacher, is high? Yes. So finally, if you want to step-by-step details, I've written a book titled The Ultimate ALT Handbook, How to Thrive as an Assistant Language Teacher in Japan. It absolutely covers everything. Look at this book here. It covers everything you need to know about how to apply, how to prepare, and how to live and thrive here in Japan. It's available on Amazon as both ebook and hard copy. And if you're watching this and you like to ask me questions directly about how to come to Japan, please send me a DM and let me know you are part of of this conference. Yes, and I will gladly answer. So teachers, I actually want to leave you with this. Please don't stay small when you know you are absolutely called to be more. Be audacious. Take the step. Your world will open up. Yes, believe me. Once again, like I would say, it doesn't matter if you are a math teacher or science teacher. If you know you want to come to Japan, you can teach English, you can speak English, please apply. When you get to Japan, you can now, after your contract, you can now apply to these international schools here. And if you have a PhD, universities here are looking for you to come teach. Yes, they have amazing English program. Now I'm talking to English language, teachers who have masters and who have probably PhDs. You have every day they are looking for professors, people with PhDs who can absolutely and teach English in the university. So it's a sure way for you to become a lecturer in a foreign country. Think about it. I wish you the best. Remember to ask any question. I'm going to definitely answer you. Goodbye.